Good morning. You guys are probably like, George, I've never seen you this scrambled before. Well, get used to it because we're dropping Patreon. And that means you're going to be seeing a side of me you've never seen before. A very hairy, sexy style. Now, for those of you guys thinking that this is going to be like an OnlyFans, I'm sorry, it's not. It's going to be stuff that you can see extended podcasts, though, and vlogs every week showing you what we're doing behind the curtains when it comes to stand-up, building the podcast, and really tapping into our culture. The last one, I don't even know if that's even true. I thought it would be better if it had like a third ring to it. There's a lot of cool stuff though. So come, please join $6 a month to my Patreon. I promise you're not going to regret it. And if you do regret it, just cancel. $6. Get rid of it. Just be like, nah, this is stupid. It's the worst money I ever spent. You can take your mom and dad's credit card. They won't even know. Don't do that though. That's illegal. Well, I don't know if it's illegal because it's your family. Well, just ask them. It's $6. How do you feel?
So good.
You feel good?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? How do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel? Are you nervous?
I feel like Belle doesn't feel good.
No, I feel great. I'm just nervous, but I feel great.
Yeah, just don't mess it up because it's your first time. What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is my new podcast. For those of you guys that are new here, welcome. Thank you for coming. And those of you guys that have been here and have been rocking with me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We came up with a name. It's called ALTRU with George Janko. My cousin Patrick from Chicago came up with it. He named it because it's playing off the word of altruism. It actually oh my God, guys. So first of all, 3 episodes in, I'm still nervous. Okay. So just give me a little break if you guys notice that I'm a little nervous. And
He's
then,
so cute.
And then also for all my gym homies out there, for those of you guys that know brothers and sisters that skip leg day, that was me. And now I have a trainer that thinks legs day is every day. And today I woke up and I don't know if you guys know this, but when you do legs day, it takes everything out of you. And I had no idea. So I'm a little tired today, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for being here. I'm actually excited to talk about the things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be getting into our relationship and why I think it's a very special relationship. And also my relationship with Reed. And also Reed is going to be like our little Jamie from like the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, but Reed.
Yeah, Reed. Reed, could you hit them with the definition of altruism?
Yeah, I got a laptop over here and I'm reading it online. It says unselfish regard for or devotion to the wellness of others. It says welfare, but I feel like wellness, you could trade that in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know what the word meant. So when he gave me that definition, it really rang in my heart because that's how I was raised. My mom and dad would always teach me like all these blessings that we receive, they are from God. And I do believe that with all of my heart. I believe that when you have a really an amazing relationship with God, you could start seeing God work in ways that you didn't before because you weren't really invested in the relationship. The example that I like to use for this type of thing is when you get a new car. When you get a new car, you never see that car anywhere, right? Before you buy, you never see it anywhere. You're like, oh my God, this is a special car. Nobody has this car until you invest in it. And then as soon as you invest in it, you start seeing it everywhere you go. There's my car. There's my car. Why is my car there? It's because you put time and energy, you invested in it. And my parents taught me that when it comes to blessings, you'll realize at the end of the day that they all come and stem from God. They could come from your enemies. They could come from your friends. They could come from your family. But when you see them come to you, you know at the end of the day that God is working in a beautiful way. So my parents raised me in a way that I should just be aware on helping other people. I should be the 2 hands that God put on this earth, right? So if you're a Christian, you want to go to your neighbor and you want to do your due diligence as a good neighbor. So I've always focused on serving others and not necessarily worrying about what others could do for me, because I know in my mind that if it comes from God, there's nothing that I could do that's going to change the direction of what the Almighty wants for me. So I'm not going to do something for you to get something out of it, because i.e., if I do believe in a God, he's watching every move that I make with my heart. So if I'm doing it for a selfish reason, I don't think he would reward a child for doing it if in your heart you're only doing it to get something out of it. Mm-hmm. So I grew this mindset growing up of just being good to the people around me and knowing that whatever is to come or not to come, it means nothing of what my good works are doing. It's meant for me. So when Patrick brought me the name of ALTRU with George Janko, playing off me being true to myself and what my roots are, and also being a servant to others, I was like, wow, that is a perfect name. Like I'm really, really into that name. So the name of the podcast, guys, is ALTRU with George Janko. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like it, if you hate it, if you're like not into it or you're into it. Let me know, because we also do want to start incorporating at the end of these podcasts of us reading comments and getting involved with the community, because I think this is what's special. This is what is special about a podcast is we're talking, and the audience is, it's not like I'm playing music or I'm like in a movie. It is about my point of view in life. And so when I meet you guys in real life, or when I read these comments, they mean a lot to me, because you guys are seeing my heart on the table. And like, so again, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. But dude, let's get into it, guys. What's new and exciting? You have some TikTok stuff. You got some TikTok news. But, oh my God, I didn't introduce you guys. I'm so sorry. This is Shauna Della Rica, my beautiful girlfriend.
Hi guys.
We met like almost 4 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's 4 years.
And she was my best friend, and still is my best friend. And then Reed,
2 years.
2 years we've been dating, hanging out. So let's get into it, babe. What makes you think that we're the best couple in the world?
Well, let me tell you, I have a list of things.
But does it feel weird, like talking about our relationship, like in front of people?
Yeah, because you know what? I think even when I have these conversations with like my girlfriends and I try and give advice on what I feel like helps a healthy relationship, sometimes I feel like I'm not trying to like brag and be like, well, you know, we've got it going on because we do this, this, and that, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to like really notice the things that make us work. And I think that it's one of the biggest things is just from the jump of our relationship, we've just been very open and communicative with one another and very honest with each other.
Yeah, that's huge. Communication is key. You taught me how to really communicate, actually. So I'm blessed to have you in my life.
Thank you.
I would I wouldn't have anger issues. I was never disrespectful. That was never a thing that I've ever had, but I never communicated my feelings because I just was like, fuck it, move on. Let's just do it. Right. Let's just I'll bury it. Yeah. And that could get bad, especially for like big hearted people that love people. They feel like if they communicate, then that person is not going to like them anymore. And I had that problem a lot. I've lost a lot of good friends, and I blame myself. I wish in the beginning I would have communicated how I felt. And you know, I'm the type of person that will bottle it up, and then I'll fucking explode. And then I'm like I'm never 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? So I'm 100 in everything I do. So if I get to a place in my life where I'm like, you know what, bro, I'm sick of being walked on. It took you forever to realize that you're walking on me, you're disrespecting me, you're doing this. Like I'm over it. Now I'm like done. I'm like moved on. Even if they want to like, hey, let's work on this. I'm like, no, dude, I gave you the time. But that's such a bad attitude to have. Then you corrected me on that. And I really appreciate it. I need to be a man and like set the standards of what is okay for somebody besides me or my family and how they treat me. And I think that if you don't have that standard for yourself, then you're just giving the door open to like people to walk on it. And so
well, you set the exactly. You set the standard of like how you feel like you deserve to be treated. And I mean, it's funny because, and we were just talking about this last night, even though I was so big on like telling you like, oh, we need to communicate. I still like, I fall short to it all the time. Like I do the same thing. I bottle things up. I don't want to communicate like how something made me feel or whatever that might be. And then to the point where you're like so upset about it that it comes out the wrong way. So it's
also forgiveness is a huge factor in it. People want to forgive other people on their schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll forgive you when I'm ready. But again, and I bring up God, and this is cool because I can bring up God on my podcast and not feel guilty. So this is like, I'm sorry, I'm getting used to it. It's like the wheels are like turning again. I use God as a huge example for myself. I always set the standard, right? He's the standard that I live by. So like I sin every day or I do something wrong every day. I'm not a perfect human being. But one day I'm going to stand before a very real God and be like, man, I pray that you could forgive me for these moments that I slipped up, that I was weak, that I was tired, that I was frustrated, that I was angry, and all these other emotions like bottled my heart and changed the POV of how I see things. And I just wish that you could see through those pains. And that is the definition of grace, right? So like watching somebody suffer, make a wrong decision, because I think all sin roads are paved with good intentions, right? So people don't wake up being like, I'm going to be a piece of shit. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they're losing their job. Maybe they lost a family member. Sorry, I don't mean to burp. I just drank a lot of liquids. to get me ready for this podcast. But a lot of it has to do with grace. And I know that I'm going to stand before him one day and I know he's going to forgive me. But I was reading the Bible and there was this very special thing. And it said, I'm going to be misquoting it, but please like do your due diligence and read. But he gives it's like a measurement on how you judged other people. And I thought that was the most beautiful way to judge somebody. Imagine a very real God, like a very big, powerful God, a God that could calm the ocean with his hands, is so merciful that he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to judge you the way you judged others.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
You taught me that.
He's gonna look at you the way that you looked at others. So that, it quite frankly, it started my direction of how I judge people in a shitty way. I will admit it. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna forgive people because I want God to forgive me. And it was a very selfish like thought, right? Like, I'm gonna do this so that way when I meet him, he's gonna forgive me. But through this practice, it opened my eyes to realize like, forgiving other people it's really for you, bro. It really takes away a lot of pain off your heart, because once you remove the ability of somebody taking that, because anger is energy. I always tell people that anger is energy, and every day you have a certain amount of energy that you're going to burn through the day. Do you really want to burn your gas on something that you can't control, like other people's emotions or like directions towards you? Like, I'd rather just forgive you and move on. There's a lot of influencers that mention my name in the Bobby Lee thing. And they were jumping really quick to tear me down. And the one thing that they use is like, oh, he's not even a real Christian. He was doing all these, and it was sticking at me and it was hurting me. But then I realized, I was like, I'm not going to spend my day sitting here reading these comments. When I could be doing good, because at the end of the day, God knows my heart. He knows where I'm aiming to be, how I wake up every day trying to be a better man than I was yesterday. So there's no good energy being burnt on trying to prove people wrong that don't even know who I am. And this whole situation flipped on its head. And also, again, remember in the beginning of this podcast, I said, God will bring my blessings. I don't care where it comes from. You could know the Bible back and forth, but you can't put your finger in my face and tell me what my relationship with God is. You have no idea the shoes that I've used to walk through these life. You can't. And then through that whole situation, a lot of beautiful fruit grew from it. I have my own podcast. A lot of people got to see what happened after that. There was a lot of things that came good from that. But imagine if I would have wasted all those days instead of trying to build a podcast or trying to be fruitful or trying to forgive and move on. If I used anger, it only corrupted my footsteps and only made me stand still.
Yeah.
And I also want to pivot this conversation for people in their 20s or 30s. I just turned 30. It's okay not to know what you want to do in life. It's totally okay. I think I think in a generation now where we're watching people online know what they're doing with social media, and we're watching this filtered life that we're like, oh my God, we need to get our shit together. Yeah. I need to get a hustle. And I'm watching these motivational people, like, for example, Andrew Tate, and like all these other people that have a really big audience of men looking up to them. They're using this negative outlook of if you're not getting up and you're not doing this, then you're a bitch, you're a pussy. And it's just like, whoa, that's super overwhelming for a man that doesn't have that angst. You know what I mean? That push. So I kind of want to come at it from a perspective of love. And so if that type of message doesn't work for you, I hope this one does. And the message is this: it's okay for you not to know where you're going, but it's not okay for you to stand still. I came to LA, and by the way, I want to bring this up because somebody brought it up to Logan on my podcast. He goes, could you tell George, before I get into what I was going to say, could you tell George not to always bring up stories about himself or things about himself? It's very egotistical. And I get that perspective. But I'd rather sit on this podcast talking about lessons that I've learned and give you guys the wisdom that I was blessed with than sit and gossip about other people and how they're doing in life or what they're doing wrong in life. Right. I want to use myself as an example. I would rather drag my name through the mud so that way you have a cleaner life than drag anybody else's name through the mud so that way you could get a cleaner life. You get what I'm saying? This is my thought process on it.
What better way to explain to somebody, the lesson that you've learned through showing your experience, and lessons only come through life experience. You got to pull from something. So if you're able to really relate that to somebody and show them an example, then they can really get a good grasp as to what you're trying to explain to them.
Yeah. And this actually goes after that line that I wrote. Wisdom comes in pain, tings, and pain was separated from tings. So it's like wisdom comes from pain. And I think that there's like a lot of emotional pain that grows with it. But imagine if you could paint it for somebody so they don't have the pain. So like that was just a play on words that I was like writing.
I
But
just hear like a Jamaican person going, paintings. That's all I hear when you say that. But yeah,
I'm gonna hire somebody from Jamaica to do the commercial.
paintings.
That'd be
man.
great. Anything Jamaican is just it's awesome.
Best.
With Bob Marley music playing and just
Wow,
very
I really
peaceful
derailed
vibe.
this, huh?
Yeah, you really messed us all up. That's Reed, ladies and gentlemen.
Paintings.
When I came to LA, I wanted to be a musician, and I was interning for recording studios, and I just thought that was it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, this is the direction. But then it changed throughout time. And so what I'm telling the people that don't know what they want, it's like, bro, even the people that do know what they want, it changes. It changes. But what the difference is between you and the people that know what they want, they're moving, right? But the difference is it goes from here to there, to there, to there, to there, and here. You don't know which direction it goes. You could only trace the points of where life was by looking at history. You can't do that moving forward. You don't know what the future brings. So the best thing is to do is find something that that drives passion in you. And say, for example, there's some people who are like, well, George, I don't have a passion. I don't know what I'm good at. Well, dude, like that doesn't mean that's it. That means you just haven't ran into it, which gives you more of a reason to get your shoes on and go outside. Go meet other people. Go experience different crews. Go experience different homes. Like there's so much to do in this life. There is no excuse for you to just sit home, even if you don't know what your passion is. I'll give you an example that I didn't know I was in love with podcasts until my freaking best friend goes, hey, come on this show for this 6ix9ine episode. I think it's going to be really cool. The only reason that it happened is because I'm so scared of losing opportunity more than I am of taking opportunity. A lot of people are scared of taking the opportunity. I'm more scared of losing that opportunity. I will take the shot 100 times over 100 times. You're never going to hit bullseye 100 times in a row. But like if you're scared of shooting the first bullet, you're never going to move forward. You're never going to want to like even give it a chance. You're not going to know if that's your passion. So if you're in your 20s out there, if you're listening to this, if you're very, very nervous about what the future holds, and I know a lot of people like Gary Vee, which a really good friend of mine, I love his direction on life. He always talks about how like you don't have to be worried about your parents. And I get that.
Yeah.
But like you shouldn't be worried about anybody. Like literally anybody. You should be kind and understanding that your parents might have sacrificed a lot for you to be where you're at. So do that same thing that we were talking about in the beginning. Give them grace. Once you could really understand other people's emotions and play into it, you could be very strong. A lot of wicked people, like a lot of people on top, know how to bend people's emotions. Now imagine if you could do that in a loving way. Like, hey, I know my parents are first generations. We talked about this on the Joe Coy podcast. We talked about how a lot of immigrant parents don't want people to chase their dreams because it's like, hey, we risked it here to get to America. Yeah. Now you want to just take everything we have and risk it again. That's ridiculous.
I'd never heard that before. The way he described it was incredible.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful way. But you know, like you just said, I never thought of it that way.
Yep.
It's POV. It's people's points of views. And people's points of views are so dramatic, even if they're standing in the same spot. And once you really master the fact of listening to others and not really being like, okay, I'm not listening to him, I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next, you're missing out. A lot of people judge somebody's outer point of views or like where they're at in life, because I'm not going to mention who it is, but there's a lot of social media people that I know that they're like, oh, why am I going to listen to him? He has this amount of followers. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy to think that way.
And you don't know too, like at the end of the day, you don't know what that person has been through before until like, you know what I mean? Before they are in the position that they are right now.
You don't even know
so
what
like,
they're actually like behind doors too.
Yeah.
Like in that moment.
Yeah. Like that person's
that
circumstance changes everything. So maybe for you, like where they're standing in life at this very moment is not maybe very appealing to you or grand or whatever that might be. But maybe for them, it's everything because they, you know, it's so much bigger than what it was before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that. Well, I guess this segment was just basically like, like really take the time to hear people out and give them grace. Once you master how to forgive people and see it from their point of view, this crazy roller coaster of a life, even through the downs and ups, it starts becoming exciting and fun. And it's not as scary, because I think that the reason why people get scared, I'll use myself as an example again, like, oh, I don't want to fall off because then I'm going to be known as the person who falls off. Oh, he only made it because he was Logan's friend, or oh, he only did this because of that. But if you look at it from a perspective as like, no, I was blessed to meet somebody like Logan. You know, he opened the doors for me. That was amazing. Say I did fall off. Say I go back home. It's not that bad. I get to go home to 2 parents that love me, a sister that came out, worked for me. We have stories to tell.
Yep.
When you take away people's little like digs at you or worst case scenarios, and you take the pride, exactly. When you take somebody's pride, whatever comes before pride is fall, right? It's like, if you take it and just, you don't have to dish it back at them like, oh, fuck you, you have pride. You can just be like, okay, I get it. You're still at that level that I was at one day. And I pray that you get out of it. Because once somebody uses pride against you, they're using it against themselves. It's a double-edged sword. So whenever somebody hurts you with it, they're hurting themselves, because I know a lot of people that said so many things in the public eye, and now they go to bed being like, God bless, somebody's going to use that against me one day. And that's crazy to think that way.
Right.
There's a lot of people that wish like other people's downfall. And when they're by themselves, they're scared of that downfall because they've built it up so much. But if you give people forgiveness, you give yourself forgiveness. Yeah. Whatever you dish other people, it comes back to you.
Compassion.
Let's talk about something that's a little hot, like something that's like people don't want to. Some people like they don't want to talk about it. Like, for example, I don't know. I'm trying to think of shit that like we talk about all the time. That's like, for example, the man of the house situation.
Okay.
Like, how do you feel about having a man in the house? Like somebody who's like, this is my house.
A man in the house?
Like the man of the house. Like
having a man in her home in general?
Growing up, my dad is the man of the house. There's no conversation about that. There was a respect. There was order to the house. It didn't mean that we loved him more or we put him at a higher pedestal than my mother. But as a leader of this family, of what happens to this family, we looked at him. But it fell more responsibility. It wasn't a pride thing. It wasn't an ego thing. Like, if we only had one meal, my father wasn't the one eating it. If we were cold and there was only one blanket, my father wasn't the one using it. If there was a fire in the building and me and Jessica were in a building lit on fire, my mom and dad are not going to be sitting outside discussing, okay, who's equally going to go into the fire right now? My father would say, stay here. I'm going in. And I think people misconstrued this idea as like it's worth more.
Right.
But it's actually not. He put us above him.
Yeah.
And so like it just broke my heart that I'm watching people say like, oh, the man in the house, like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, they should be equal. Like, they're shitting on them. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Did you just really take everything that they sacrificed and threw it back in their face? Like, you think I'm going to disrespect my dad by being like, oh, you're chauvinistic? My dad's like, what's chauvinistic? I risked everything for you. I did everything for you guys. Yeah. There was no chauvinism. I wasn't going around bragging. Yeah. I wasn't saying, yo, what I say goes. My dad would teach me that my mother was the backbone of the family. That he married a woman that he was so in love with her mind, and he would want his kids to have her point of views. There was so much respect in my house that when I'm watching people talk about what I grew up on in such an evil way, the first thing we talked about, I had to ask you, I go, hey, listen, like, I don't know if I could sleep at night knowing that the only thing that I ask of you is the respect of trusting in me, that I'm going to lead this family in a good way. We're going to discuss minds together. We're going to break bread. We're going to choose to raise our kids in a direction of like this platform. This is how I think my children would succeed the most. And you love that idea. And we could cut this out if you don't want this in, but no. The way that your mom would look at me and she would just say like, I've never met a man like you before. Like, this is like she would cry and tell me like, I love the way that you treat my daughter, but I only treated you the same way that I watched my father treat my mother. And the way I treat you is the way that I would want another man to step in and treat my daughter. I wouldn't want the bill to be slid and then my daughter to split it 50-50. I would want the man to, hey, if you're going to ask my daughter to go to dinner with you, she's going to get her hair done. She's going to put makeup on. She's going to put a beautiful dress on. She's going to come out and grace you with her presence. If you're going to ask her to come into your presence and have a meal, be respectful. Cover that bill.
Chivalry.
You know what I'm saying? Open the door. Yeah. Like, and also like, when the time comes where she becomes more just not a date, but of a partner like yours, I never ask you to do anything, but you do things that will like back me up and have my best interests in mind. And I knew that I wanted you to be my life partner because when I was dating other women, I would see a lot of things in them where I was like, oh, I pray to God my kids don't turn out like in this situation or that, or act like this, or be like her in this type of way. But when I met you, I asked God, I go, God, first of all, thank you. Like, if you don't treat the woman that you're with like she's literally a gift from God, like, hey, this is your partner in life. This is a crazy fun little game that we're playing in this world. And this is the person that I chose to share your bloodline, to share your fruits. Like, I treat that with the most upright respect because he could have given you to anybody, but he chose to give you to me. So I treat it that way. So when I saw this woman and I was like, holy cow, I want my kids to have all of these thoughts, all of these features, all of her mindsets. This is how I knew I wanted you to be my partner. But when it comes down to tough decisions, I love that you trust me to make the decisions that it weighs on you. You can't make the decisions. It overwhelms you. Like, so I, as a leader, go, okay, I'm going to make this decision for the family. And if it fails, it's on me.
Yeah.
And if it succeeds, it's for us. That's the mindset. It's not like me.
No, 100%. And I think like what people have to understand is like there's a mutual respect where no matter what, and everything is a discussion when it comes to like our opinions and decisions that we need to make. We have that respect of like, okay, like let's talk about this. But at the end of the day, I think that like you as a man and me as a woman, we each have our strong suits.
Yeah.
And things that I'm strong in, you might not be as strong in, and things that you are strong in, I'm not going to be as strong in, and that's okay. And that's what makes us balanced and strong to build like a family and build something strong. And I think kind of like same as like what you said, what I love about you is that you really take the responsibility to like be the man in the relationship and to lead and to set by example. And you have such wisdom when it comes to like to the decisions that you make. And I respect that. Like I respect the wisdom that you have and the way that you lead with God. I mean, like from being with you for like 4 years, I've learned so much and I've grown so much closer to God. And I know that God put you in my life for that reason as well. But like, I'm so grateful for that. And I think that the role that you play as like, the leader in the relationship and the man of the house is something that people should like look up to and should like look for. And being that, you know, that gentleman that like takes care of his girlfriend. And then also too, I'm there to like help, you know, like be your backbone, like help like take care of you and be there to like talk you through things. You know what I mean? Like whatever that might be like.
Yeah, I think like they misconstrued it a lot. They think that the leader just means it's all about him, but it's not. It's literally like an alpha wolf. I always say this: the alpha wolf is in the back of the clan. You know what I mean? He lets the other people set the pace.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna be able to like somebody breaks into the house. I'm not gonna have as good of a shot to like protect us.
You say that, but you're right next to me, bro. Like when the one time we thought there was a house, we thought somebody was breaking in. I grabbed my pistol, cocked it, and before I even turned around, she had a knife in her hand, like ready to rock. I was like, "Oh, stop! Like this girl's ready. She is ready." And by the way, I actually do want to pivot something. I'm not the leader of the house. I think I'm the man of the house, but I think the leader of the house is God. And I think that's what makes it work.
Yes.
Because we both have a standard is like, he is in charge. So he has this like direction of where he would want us to act and be to each other. And we're following his instructions. We're not in charge. So the way that I treat you is like as a gift from God, and you treat me the same. Yeah. And I think that's what works. Yeah. I think if people are more focused on who's in charge and who's running shit, it's driven by pride.
Yes.
And I just want men to be men, but like you don't have to be a man and be a jackass. And I feel like that's what's happening nowadays. Yeah. People are like, I'm the fucking man. This is my bro. Like, let me give you an example. Have I ever raised my voice at you in front of anyone ever?
No, I would be. No,
never.
I would never be okay with that.
But like, we yell at each other all the time. Not all the time, actually.
No.
That's pretty ridiculous. But when we get into it, we're loud. We're very loud
we have
people.
Opinions. We have arguments, things like that. But at the end of the day, too, another thing is that, and I'm glad that you corrected that. I didn't mean to say leader. Man of the house is like a better way of being said. But when you feel like maybe you feel really strongly about something and like you're like, no, this is how I feel, and I disagree, and maybe we argue about it. you wait a while, you reflect, and if you feel like you were wrong about it, you're the first person to be like, hey, I was wrong about this situation. Like, I own up to it, and like you take responsibility for it.
Always.
And that's huge because
It's
again,
disrespectful to not do that for you. Like you love me so much, and I see what you've done in your life, your sacrifices, your time, your patience with me during weak moments. Like, it would be disrespectful for me to know in my heart that I was wrong to you and not own up to it. That's fucked up, to be honest. Like, if I knew I did something wrong and I wasn't like, hey, you know what, and I just buried it, that's a bitch move. If you can't own up to what you did, you're a bitch. In my book, you'll always be a bitch. Like, cause like, how dare you? How dare you move on in life and have the person you love think that, oh, she was wrong? Yeah. That's messed up. Yeah. Another thing I want to say is like, set the example for your partners too. Like, I know some dudes that will get loud and yell and freak out at their spouse or like their loved ones in front of people. And I remember this dude, he came up to me after so he came up to me because his girlfriend came to my house because she was asking me for advice on the situation. And as a respect for the man, I told her, you have to let him know that you came here. Because like, I don't want a girl who had an issue with another man to come to my home. Yeah. So I was like, let him know, and then you could come over and we could talk about it. He thought that was really, really respectful. So he came over, he goes, by the way, thank you for that. And then he started talking. This is what I said. This is what I said. This is how I said it. This is blah, blah, blah. Am I wrong? And the craziest part is he wasn't. The situation, he was more right in. But how he opened his mouth blew up the situation, and it didn't need to go there. So I told him this. I go, you're right on how you feel. You're absolutely right. But can I ask you something? If another stranger, a different man, came up to your woman like that and said the way that he said it to her, what would you do? He said, look, what I said? And he goes, yeah. I go, yeah. He goes, I'll beat the shit out of him. He goes, you're not going to talk to my girl like that. And I go, buddy. He goes, no, but that's my girl. You know, we could talk like we're more comfortable. And I go, dude, like, you don't understand. You set the standard. Right. When you walk on your woman in front of other men, I don't care. It's not like you're saying, oh, by the way, guys, room's open, spin in her face like that. No, but when they get upset, they're going to be like, oh, that's how she operates, so I'm going to treat her that way. Yeah. And you're just opening that door. And it's like, yo, don't open that door. Show respect to your girl. There's so many times that you would bug me on a situation. I say it so many times, but I'm talking out through 4 years. There'll be multiple times where you would do something where I was like, that fucking pisses me off, but I'll wait. Yeah. I'll wait until we get home. And the funniest part is, by the time I get home, I'm not even mad about it anymore. Right. Because I'll see it from your point of view, and I'm like, oh. So I'll just come up to you like, hey, please don't do that next time for this. Like, it kind of upset me and made me look like stupid. You embarrassed me here because I felt like less of a man, and like this and that. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. But like, set the standard on how you treat your loved ones in front of other people. Don't disrespect your loved one in front of people, bro. That's so insane to me that somebody would say, oh, I'd beat the crap out of anybody that would talk to my girl like that, but you're talking to her like that. Like, you're the one that's belittling her. And like, when you belittle something you love, bro, like, you just took something that you should be putting on a pedestal and looking up to and like, wow, this is great, this is my loved one. And like, then you just take it, wipe your ass and throw it in people's faces, and people are like, what happened here? How did this just happen? Okay. And then people are gonna have mixed emotions. Also, gentlemen, now that I'm just kind of getting into this rhythm, sorry, I feel like I'm just sitting here spieling.
But like, start a podcast,
right? Another thing is, be careful of what you discuss with your friends. Be careful what you discuss with your friends. Not every time you bump heads with your loved ones, you have to mention it to your friends, bro. Yeah. Because they're going to get irritated and they're going to have some type of resentment toward the person that's bringing you pain. So like, for example, there's some situations, well, dude, be a fucking man and deal with it in your home, bro. Yeah. Not every time you have to, like, listen, if she started talking to a different guy, having some weird cheating issues, then fuck yeah, bring it to your friends. But if like the way she dresses is a situation, I don't think you need to address, get that? That with your friends. You don't need to do that. Yeah. If you feel like, hey, you know what? I think you're showing a little too much for everybody. I feel like it's ruining the value of what you're demonstrating for us in the bedroom. I feel like it's now open for everybody else. I'm using this as an example, but I feel like, this is a very personal, intimate conversation. Have that inside your home. Yeah. You don't need to be talking to your friends about what and how your girlfriend's acting 24/7.
Well, if you just constantly go to like, each one of your friends and you're like, oh, this happened, you're putting that in their heads. And like, I know that when people tell me certain things about other people, it doesn't change how I view them, but I'm like, oh, okay, that it definitely, like, I have that in mind the next time I see them. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, like, maybe, you know, this is how you are, or maybe this is the way that you communicate to others. Like, damn, you know, it does, whether you notice it or not, it does alter the way that you feel about somebody just a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Also, have you ever, and I've done this so many times. Have you ever, like, when you're angry, talk shit about somebody?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get it off your chest and you get going and you notice that the other person you see them change the energy
Yeah.
towards that other person. And you're like, I only felt that way while I was angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I only felt like that when I was angry. I don't feel like that all the time. I was angry. But the worst part is, deep down, you know that the person you vented out to is going to have those feelings all the time.
Yeah.
And now you just corrupted somebody's point of view on a person. I know I'm just kind of like spinning some shit, but I hope like this is resonating with some people.
No, it's great.
Yeah. No, these are like great things to talk about. You know what I mean? These are things that we actually talk about all the time. And it's actually something I wanted to say earlier, but you were like changed the pivot. But I think that's something really great about you. And I know that you talk about it, but I really want people to know this is true. You are the first person that I've ever met in my life that does so much internal work on themselves. And you really like work on yourself, you learn something, and then you try with all your might to apply it and to change it and to fix it. And like, that's something that not a lot of people do. And it's very hard to do for yourself. And like the amount that you've grown in 4 years is just like, is immense. Like, you've grown so much as a person, and it's just really beautiful seeing somebody like being able to correct their actions and just constantly working on like being a better person and being like a more patient person, a more like thought out person. Like, it's just really great. It's really like,
I really appreciate that. I know the day that it changed for me in my heart.
Really?
Yeah, it was when we had a really bad fight, me and you, and I brought my toxic energy from my last relationship into this one. And with my work, I've always had that mindset. Reed actually brought that up to me. You were the first person that ever brought it up to me. You said, I've never met anybody that like learned something and then it was like, okay, that's it. Now I'm going with that 100%.
24/7, dude. Your mind doesn't turn off.
And I appreciate those words, guys. Those do mean a lot.
It give you a lot, but I also see it like take a lot from you, you know, like when
it weighs on me.
Absolutely.
It weighs on
It's a
me.
blessing and a
Super.
curse.
Absolutely. And there's no better feeling than watching your loved ones notice that, because I don't talk about that. And for you guys to bring it up, it means a lot. Thank you. I try my best to make sure that I'm the best neighbor to both of you guys. And the day that I brought that into our relationship was the day that I brought my toxic energy into our relationship. And the way you responded was silence. Destroyed me, bro, because I was just like, wow, she didn't deserve that. And like, yeah, my other ex and me would talk to each other like that, but that doesn't mean that this is how she operates. And I had to take a second to reflect. I'm like, I hear stories all the time of men that were like, oh, I wish I learned this in this relationship before it ruined. And a lot of people go, oh, I learned this from my last relationship and this from my last relationship. And when that happened, I was like, I don't want to be her lesson.
right.
Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want her to move on to somebody that's going to feel so blessed to have her in his life. And I'm watching from afar being like, all I had to do is control my tongue.
Yeah. It's not like it is what you say, but it's also how you say it.
And in my whole life, people would tell me that. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I would tell people is like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I would say that all the time. I'm like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Like, deal with it. It's just words. And I would say that all the time until that. And I was like, wow, my words affected her. Like, and it was the one thing where I was like, I'm not losing this. I gotta rework. But by the way, like, I still fall short. I'm not nowhere near where I was before.
No. But we all do. We all make mistakes. And listen, these are the one situations where like you had so much remorse for that. Like you still to this day bring it up and are like, man, like I feel so bad about that situation and like how I spoke or how, you know what I mean? How it all unrolled. But again, you took that situation and you're like, that wasn't right. I'm never doing that again. And you fixed it. And that's what I love about you. And that's why I see us long game. That's why I want to be with you forever, is because like you see something that's wrong. You're like, okay, done. I'm fixing it.
Yeah. I also like to wash my hands clean. You guys hear me say that all the time. I got to wash my hands clean. I move on. Mm-hmm. Don't be bitter. Don't be bitter. You know what I mean? Like if somebody does something wrong to you or you do something wrong to them, like don't be bitter. You know what I mean? Like everybody makes mistakes. And I feel like, and I've noticed this a lot with Christians, which is, it breaks my heart the most, is that they feel like they're the most righteous because they know God, and they feel like these are the rules and these are the establishment. But be careful how you wave your finger in other people's faces, because like I said, God sees everything. And if you're trying to act and pretend like you're this perfect walk along Christian, just be careful, because the way you wave your finger in the face, God's going to measure you and judge you the same way. So really, really be careful how you do that. But forgive yourself. I think one problem I had was I was super easy on forgiving others. I would just be like, oh yeah, no worries, move on. Like, because I loved it when people apologize. I thought it was the most sweetest thing in the world. When somebody apologizes for something they've done, for you not to accept an apology, that's ridiculous, bro. That is really ridiculous. And by the way, they would have to mean it, not like a fake one, but like a meaning one. But forgiving yourself could be really harmful for people that don't know how to do that. If you don't know how to forgive yourself and you're just going to consistently kick yourself for a mistake that you've made in your past, that could cripple you from what you need to go through. So let me word this the best way that I can. And this goes into the ears of the Christians, the believers of Jesus. If God sent his only son to feel that it was the worth of forgiving you, if God feels that it's worth forgiving you, who do you think you are to feel that you're not? That's you telling yourself what you're worth. You don't have that jurisdiction. You cannot say that. You cannot have a God that's in heaven look down at you and be like, it's okay, forgive yourself, move on. You are forgiven. For you to be like, no, I can't. I'm going to kick myself. Because I used to have that problem. Mm-hmm. So me trying to tell myself, no, I don't deserve that. Like, I was really bad. I did this. Like, I don't deserve it. That's going against what you should be believing in. If you feel in your heart you've made a mistake and you want to move forward, forgive yourself and move on. Stop letting the devil make it seem like it's unforgivable. There is literally no sin. I mean, technically blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, but if you're battling this type of emotion, you're obviously not doing that. But if you are really in your heart, like every day you wake up like, yo, I can't forgive myself for this. Like, you need to pray about it, because if you can't move on from your past mistakes, you cannot build a foundation to grow. Mm-hmm. It's like you having a sledgehammer and just breaking everything that you have. Give yourself grace, like forgive yourself, because if you don't know how to forgive yourself, if you do not know how to love yourself, how do you expect to go love other people? Yeah. How do you expect to go forgive other people? If you're setting the standard for you to look at your own reflection and be so harsh at it, if you don't even love yourself, how could you go love other people? I need to know this. How could you do it? When I see some other people being so unbelievably disrespectful to another human being, the first thing that pops in my head, it goes, I pray for them. I pray for the person that's being evil in that moment, because I know that they have a lot of demons. I know that there's something going on. I'll give you a story. When I was in 8th grade, there was a kid named Zach. And we got in a really, really bad fight. It was like 7th. I can't, it was so, I was so young, but I know I was really, really young. It was my first fight ever. And, he punched me in the face, dude. And my dad, and I remember hitting him, and hilariously, he hit me in the face. And the first thing, any Middle Eastern kid would know this, he hit me in the face as a kid. And the first thing I thought about, I was like, oh, my dad's hit me way harder than that. I know that sounds really fucking up, and I probably shouldn't be saying that, but he went bop, and I was like, that was nothing. That was like me barely pissing my father off, right? Like that was him just giving me a warning shot. Hi, Bubba. Come up here.
Tommy, ladies and gentlemen.
Come up here.
Welcome to the stage.
It's my best friend, Tommy.
Tommy Janko.
Oh, he's the best. So he punched me in the face, and I was growing up, me and my cousins would wrestle a lot, so we would be really, really rough. So immediately I knew, I could beat the crap out of this dude. This guy has nothing. I took him, I spun him against the wall, and I cocked back, bro. I'll never forget this. I cocked back, and I had a perfect shot to blow him right in the nose. And it was like the first one. I was so excited about it because he'd been bullying me nonstop. I had permission from my parents. It was great, bro. Like my dad came home. He goes, I heard somebody's making fun of you at school. And I said, yeah, this kid. He goes, if he ever touches you, you beat the shit out of him. So he touched me. He punched me. And I was like, this is it. This is my one shot where I get to freaking just beat the crap out of this kid. I cocked back. I'm about to punch him in the nose. And Reed, I saw his eyes, dude. And there was this fear in his eyes. And it wasn't fear like, oh, this kid's about to beat me up. It was like lost. It was like what he thought was going to happen in his head didn't come out to be fruitful. And I'll never forget that. So like I couldn't hit him. My whole body froze. And I'm holding him, and somebody tackled me, because like, you know how like your friends tackle you to separate you?
Yeah.
And we were just locking each other's eyes. And I went home. I got suspended, by the way, which was bullshit, because I didn't even fucking do anything. Till this day, I'm mad about that. I got fucking, think about this. I got suspended for getting punched in the fucking face. That's how you know growing up the teachers hated me.
Did he get suspended?
Yeah, but bro, he punched me in the face.
That's wild.
Just imagine, like, you get punched in the face, and everybody for the rest of the year is like, oh, you got beat up. And then you still get in trouble for that. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
But we're moving on. I'm still seeing a therapist for that. I go home, and in my heart, I told my parents, I said, there was something in his eyes. Like, I'll never forget it. And my mom and dad said, well, what's his home like? And I don't fucking know. I don't know the guy. And my mom said, well, we should really think about it. When you come home, yeah, people make fun of you at school. They don't like you. But when you come home, you have a mom and dad that love you, that care for you. That stayed with me. Years later, we are in high school. I haven't talked to this kid since, right? High school, bro. We both are in detention. Now, mind you, we don't have any like issues with each other. We actually kind of like even most likely forgot the fight, but like we don't even care about each other anymore. We're adults now, kind of like in our head, right? Mm-hmm. So we're like talking in detention, being cool to each other. Don't even bring up the fact that we're in trouble, right? We get let out earlier, like an hour early. So detention in our school was after school, and in detention, when you get let out, you get on the same bus that the high school kids that play football and like all that stuff, they take you home. You know how that like there's two buses. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the teacher comes in that's going to watch it, goes, hey, I have an emergency. You guys are good. Go ahead. And I was like, oh, bet. Our school is right next to a mall. Kind of a walk, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but rather do that than just sit here waiting for the bus, right? So he turns to me and he goes, hey, you want to go get food at the mall? And I said, yeah, of course. We're walking, bro. We're laughing. We're having a good time. And in the middle of our conversation, he's staring at me and his eyes start watering. And I look at him like, bro, are you okay? And he goes, dude, you're such a good guy. He's like, you're always so happy. He goes, and I'm going to be honest with you. He goes, that's why it upsetted me. He goes, I just hated how happy you were. And I want to apologize to you. He goes, I put my hands on you because I thought that was okay. He goes, and my therapist is teaching me that it's not okay. And that the examples that were set for me in my home is not what I should be giving it to the world. And bro,
what a wise kid.
Bro,
oh my God.
Oh bro, until this day it breaks my heart because I hated him. I hated him, but I didn't have the wisdom to know that this kid came from a house where his father put his hands on him. And in my mind, thank God I never struck him. Because I don't know what I would do if I put my hands on a kid that got hit when he came home. Like I came home to my mom and dad that like all they want is the best for me. Imagine going home and being scared to go home. I got you in your feelings, huh? It messes my heart up too, and I'm trying not to cry because I don't want to look like a pussy like you.
Bro,
but it's like
if you're listening audio only,
yeah.
George also has tears in his eyes. Just to clarify,
the learning curve for me there was like as much anger that is in your heart. If you do not know the full circumstance of what is going on, don't pull the trigger on something that's permanent. So if you're dealing with something right now with somebody at your workplace, your school place, your even your loved ones in your home, really give them the full respect to see from all their points of views, because you have no idea what somebody's going through. Even if you're spending all the time with them, if they don't express themselves, you'll never know. Belle, why are you crying, bro?
what you just?
I'm
not crying. I just had some tears in my eyes. I'm trying to hold back. That was a thoughtful. It's just a really moving story. It's really sad. You know what I mean? You just never know. And too, that's the thing is like when you're a kid, you're a kid, you just don't think, you just don't know, you don't have the capacity to think so much further out of the box, you know, in that moment when you were about to
No. I disagree. You have to. I think they're trying to make kids stupider than they are. Stupider. Look at me. I can't even use the word right.
No.
They're more stupid than they are. No,
yes.
For real. I think we need to start shaping up our parents. For real, bro. Stop putting fucking iPads in front of your children's face. Fucking stop it. Stop letting the internet... Tommy, stop. I'm talking. I'm in a very powerful mode right now. Stop. I'm doing this right now. Okay. Don't stop letting the internet raise your kids. Stop dropping your kids off at school and then getting mad at the teachers for listen, they're there for the academics, okay? Mm-hmm. But how the kids behave is still your responsibility. Before, if I was acting up in school, which i.e. always was. Always was. The teacher would bring my parents in and be like, yo, we're going to put him outside the hallway until he learns how to behave. Okay. And then my parents, we know what they did when they get home. They knew where we're like, listen, George, you need to behave. No. Hey, shut up and fucking listen. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck. And I would get scared of going home and getting my ass beat, but then I paid attention. Stop giving the responsibility of your children to other people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. I just meant more so like when you guys were in that altercation, you're so much younger, but something in your heart told you, oh, okay, I shouldn't hit him. And then it wasn't until you guys were a little bit older in high school, you're still kids, that then he had the capacity to be able to like communicate to you and you could get a better grasp of the situation, you know?
I think the only difference between me and those other children is my parents had adult conversations with me when I was young.
Yeah.
They weren't talking to me about sex and stuff, but they were talking to me about empathy, sympathy. They were talking about remorse. They were talking about forgiveness. They were talking about how people could come from homes that are not as magical or beautiful or blessed as our home. And by the way, having a blessed home isn't having a financially successful home. We need to get out of that mindset. A lot of people dictate a blessed home with financial homes. I could very much guarantee it with examples from friends that I have, people that had multi-millions to multi-billions to multi-thousands to literally living on welfare. It all was a huge scale, and the blessings came from how united the family was. Where's your father? Where's your mother? Where's your sisters and brothers? Why are we no longer even having dinner together? It's like this world became more social from social media, but more separated, more than I've ever seen in my life. A community is the most strongest thing a human being could have. And now we're not even trying to entertain the idea of a community. And if you do have a community, it's a cult. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And that's the thing.
What, can we meet in the middle? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But your parents from a young age taught you compassion and empathy and like the value of family and your friends and the bond that you have with people. Like that's something so important. They really built that into you for you to like really put yourself in other people's shoes and, you know what I mean, to be thoughtful. And they taught you that. Kids need that.
Bro, we got like real deep. Am I taking it
This is awesome.
Are you sure?
This is fantastic.
Are you sure? I feel like it's like too much. People are gonna be like, what happened? I thought he was a comedian.
What?
Especially,
No,
Some people are like, no, he wasn't. Why'd you laugh at that? You laughed way too hard at that.
You're still stupid.
No, because with that recent shout out from Impulsive, I feel like a lot of people that are coming to this video just want to hear your opinion on things, like your values. That's what you bring to Impulsive that I think people like the most, you know?
I would also like to highlight that I'm not perfect, and I never want to claim that I'm perfect. I think
he doesn't let us say that.
I think people misconstrued the idea of confidently expressing who I am to somebody who thinks he has it all put together. I am the first to tell you, if I had to measure myself, I'm always in last place. I'm always trying to be better than who I was yesterday because I am so far from being perfect. I think that there's a million things that I need to perfect. I think there's a lot of things that I need to even look at. I think there's some things that in my closet I'm scared of even looking at. There's so many things that I could give you 1,000 things that I need to work on and maybe 2 or 3 things I'm proud of. And that's who I want you guys to see. Do not look at me and be like, let me be exactly like George because he got it together. Because anybody who's on social media is like, you need to be like me. They're lying, bro. I think the truth is we need each other. And I want to show you the things that I have flaws in and that I'm working on. And these are my tips and tricks. And I'll read the comments and read yours and sit down with amazing people and get their point of views. I think the best thing we could do as humans is be very, very acceptable. Very, very acceptance. Very, very...
Accepted? What are you trying to say?
Acceptive?
Acceptant.
Acceptant?
To be acceptant? Yeah.
Welcoming. Basically, just be very welcoming to criticism. And also, we got to stop giving criticism. It's such a... Like, you know what I tell Reed and Jessica and Belle when we're doing work and they're about to deliver me bad news? I say this. Deliver me bad news as if it's good news. Right? Check this out. If I have bad news, but I master on giving you bad news in a good way, bruh.
I crashed your car.
Hey, you know how you've always wanted a new car?
Well, guess who has to go today?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
But-
what I feel like
yeah.
I want to get better at. You know what? I want to talk about some things that I want to work on, so that way, like, I don't come off at like this guy who thinks that he knows it all. So let me please express myself. I want to fix my mouth. I think I swear too much. And before I never cared.
That's a mouth.
I never cared about swearing because of this, and a lot of people comment about this, and I never actually addressed it. The reason I don't care about cursing is because I believe cursing, it's like when God was looking down from heaven, how I would see it is, where does he see my heart? I see it as like when I say, nah, get the fuck out of here like this, I'm not meaning that in a very evil way. I think if I was cursing at somebody, like if I was really, really mad, like, you mother effer, like
Yeah.
right now, I don't even want to say it in a bad way because I know it will come off in a bad way, right?
Yeah.
Like if I say it in a context where it's like evil and hurtful and I'm like trying to curse you, then I felt like it was wrong. The reason why I want to fix my mouth now is because it hurts my heart when I'm seeing people in compilations, when I'm talking about God, and then I use these words, and then there's people in the comment section be like, yo, he's not a man of God. And I really do feel like I'm a man of God, and I use this platform to show that God has helped me in so much things. I would hate the fact that somebody would turn away from my points of views, which I find very cool and insightful for you in a situation because of my mouth.
Right.
And me just giving I don't care what you think, it's not what you think, that seems like a very hypocritical thing, because it isn't what I think, it's what God thinks. And I was always thinking about, he's seeing it from my point of view, when that's wrong. And I just came to the conclusion, and maybe it's because I've told people a lot to go pray for me, open up my eyes. And then recently I'm like, wait a second, I'm trying to tell him my point of views when it's not about my point of view, it's about his point of view.
Right.
So if my tongue is sharp enough to worship, then it needs to not be dull enough to like swear all the time. And also, like, I was giving myself excuses like, it's a little spice to the conversation. My stand-up jokes hit harder with that little, you know what I mean? Like, it has that little thing. And then, so I tried to stop it, right? That was the first, that was the first level of like trying to stop it. I was like, well, that's not that big of a deal. Then the second level was, well, then my jokes are not going to hit and the conversation is going to be a little weird. And then the third level is like, oh my gosh, it's a habit. So the worst thing you could do is not even think it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. I didn't think it was a problem. And now I'm working at it. So I'm giving myself grace to like try to figure it out. It's really hard because think about it, 30 years. Yeah. I'm on this earth for 30 years, and I truly believe these years of my life here that it wasn't anything bad. And so now I have to retrain my brain to be like, I got to be respectful. Bro, you know, like this is another problem of mine. And the reflecting part that you guys were talking about, once my eyes open to something, I can't unsee it. Mm-hmm. So now that I realize this isn't something I should be dabbling in, it tears my heart apart. Let me give you an example. I was in Vallarta.
Yeah.
And I was like talking to somebody, I think it was Jess. We'll use Jess as an example. But I was like, just grab that fucking thing right there. Like, I was just like joking around. We're like, grab that fucking thing right there. And then I turned to me, and then there was an older lady. Now, she wasn't upset that I said the F word, but I go, whoa. Now that my eyes are open, I'm like, this is how disrespectful I am in front of my elders? I'm just dropping the F-bomb like it's nothing. My father would rip my fucking tongue, he would rip my tongue out of my mouth if he ever saw me use that type of language in front of somebody. But the problem was, because I thought it wasn't a problem, and I used it anytime I felt like it was okay, it became okay all the time. And I didn't know that, like, bro, like, now, not only do I not want to stop swearing, but when I swear in front of females and older people, I'm like, dude, you're not a gentleman.
Okay.
You're a cop-out. You're like a hypocrite, bro. Like, you claim that you're a gentleman and you're working on yourself, but then you use this foul language in front of people. Like, bro, you're a mess. You're a mess.
Well, it's a habit, and it's hard to break habits, you know what I mean? And listen, the work is never done, you know what I mean? No matter how old you are, no matter what stage in your life you are at, like, there's always something to learn or something you could be better at. And so, yeah, as long as you're like giving yourself grace to like help fix it. Also, it's like, imagine how much better, how much more your comedy will hit when like you don't even feel like you need to like implement a swear word in there with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and we were talking about this, I think, before, like sometimes like swear words in comedy, it's kind of like almost a cop out, kind of how like sexual jokes are kind of like it's like an easy thing. You know, people are going to laugh at.
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, dude, we could talk about this like all day, but like once you okay, this is the best way I could put it. You're never going to change until you realize that you need to change. People can tell you all day long, hey, you know what? You're a little heavy. Hey, you know what? I think you need to watch your mouth. Hey, you know what? You're talking too sexual all the time. Hey, you know what? This and that. But in your mind, you're like, nah, get out of here. Right? But once you realize for yourself that you want to change, nothing's going to help. And I think the best way you could help your neighbor, it's going to sound stupid and cheesy. A lot of people are not going to love this. Pray. I think you pray. I think you pray for the softening of the heart, because my whole life, I never really thought swearing was a problem. I saw some comments, literally looked at those comments, and I was like, go fuck yourselves. Like literally, like, and I'll say that word because I want you to see my true heart. I'm not going to be filtered. I would literally like, who the hell do these guys think they are? Come walk in my shoes and make the decisions that I've made. If they even see what I've rejected for my success, just because I know this wouldn't reflect in my relationship with God, right? I know that there's a lot of good men that wouldn't be able to hang with the decision that I made. That's why I kept trying to gas myself up.
Yeah.
You're
I was gassing
justifying it.
oh, you have no blah, 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 blah. But the one thing I pray to God all the time that I'm thankful for is that I'm not an egotistical man from the parents that I had. So I commented, pray for me. Like, if you really feel like this is wrong, pray for me. And I got on my knees and I said, God, like, if this is something you want me to work on, open my heart and mind. And my God, it works, bro. Like you will literally see yourself changing. It's the softening of the heart. If your heart is hardened to a situation, it's going to be hard for a million people to chip at. It's like titanium. It's like hard. It's like us. It's concrete. But imagine if you start fresh with your Creator and be like, soften my heart, wash me, make me new. Let me see it from your point of view. Yeah, and I guess before we wrap this up, I want to talk to the Christians. I want to talk to not even just the Christians, the Muslims, the Jewish people, anybody who has a higher power. If you're gonna express your love for your higher power, for the sake of your community, do it out of love. Do it out of love. Don't misrepresent your community, man. Like, that's a shame, bro. Like, don't put us in the position to try to back you up because you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're representing what we want you to represent, but you're not acting like what you want. I'll use myself as an example, swearing. As me swearing in front of an old lady or kids or consistently talking about situations I shouldn't be talking about, I'm representing the situation wrong. But how I lived my life was, they don't get it from my point of view. That's the problem. It's not your point of view in a community.
Yeah.
It is our point of view in this community. And our point of view is pointed at our God. So if you're not respecting somebody's choices, do it out of love. Like, try to talk to them out of love. Like, pray for them, first and foremost. If you're not praying for somebody and you're in this community, then you really got to reflect, bro. Because like, you're just missing the steps of what this whole community is about. But do it out of love. If you're watching your neighbor do something in your community that you don't feel that's good, don't get so mad, bro. Don't forget every mistake that you've made to be who you are to help somebody else. Really put yourself in their positions. For example, me in my mouth, right? Like, a lot of people that don't swear, they're grossed out because they're like, "Ooh, how could you do that?" Blah, blah, blah. And they're writing mean comments. But if they would have just taken a second to be like, dude, he didn't know. He didn't think it was this big of a deal. He had a different point of view on it. And if you could just take the time to see it from their point of view, instead of bumping heads and arguing and getting mad at each other and not getting anywhere because now there's pride and anger involved, you take a deep breath, see it from their point of view, and then just think, okay, if I was in this position, how can I get out of this position? It's like quicksand. If you're moving around and getting mad and you're trying to get out and trying to fight, you're going to sink way quicker. But when you're in quicksand, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to be calm and still. And you're going to try to find the fastest and most precise way out of it so none of us could get hurt. Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I like that.
So at the end of the day, guys, I'm right, you're wrong. So just watch this podcast, like and subscribe, and then you'll get better at life. I'm just kidding. I'm just so kidding.
Well, actually, speaking of good things,
Let's switch some topics up, right? Because I feel like it became like Sunday service here.
No, this is good. I just on this wave of just like, being good, trying to do good things for others. Do you know who Sadio Mane is?
Saudi Omain?
Sadio Mane.
Sick name.
Saudi,
Yeah.
is that a rapper?
No, he's a soccer player. And
Saudi. Oh, I know this, where he built the hospitals and stuff.
yes,
Bro,
Dude.
this is so enlighten the people that don't know who's what. But that's a crazy name to pronounce. He's a soccer player. Which team does he play
Sadio?
for?
he plays for the Senegal. Yeah, let me see. He plays forward on Senegal national football team.
I don't think you're pronouncing that
And
right.
Senegal.
That doesn't
It's
sound
a
right.
place in. It's a place in West Africa.
Why do I feel like that's not
Maybe
how
I'm
you
saying
pronounce it?
wrong. Senegal.
We got my guy with a laptop. He's coming in hot.
Yeah, so I typed in the word Senegal, and looks like I'd pronounce that Senegal.
Cool.
So
Is it right?
I don't like. Do I type in how to pronounce?
It's, you know.
Yeah, how
One
to
sec.
how to pronounce it? Because
One sec.
it doesn't sound. I want to give them the respect. If we're
Yes.
gonna, like,
well,
Senegal.
Senegal.
There we go.
so what was it?
Did you hear that?
Senegal.
Senegal?
Senegal. Exactly what Belle said.
I said it right.
I just
Yeah.
wasted so
Yeah,
much time.
100%.
That's
you did.
okay.
100%.
So
you did.
sad. I just
It was
wanted to
Belle's
respect
segment,
their
and you
place,
just-
bro. I don't want to
wow.
disrespect.
Messed up, dude.
All right, well, to give you a little bit of background, so Sadio Mane, he is from his home village is Bambali in Senegal, West Africa. He plays forward on the Senegal national football team and forward on the Bayern Munich team, which is in Germany. And pretty much since he's been on his soccer team and he's made, a great success for himself and all that stuff, he said, like, I don't want to just spend all my money on flashy cars and things. He was like, I want to make a difference. So he's made a massive difference in his home village. And he's built a $600,000 hospital for his village, a $300,000 school, and installed units so that they could have 4G internet. He's currently building a post office and a gas station. He gives every family in the village of Bambali $100 a month. Every family, $100 a
Bro,
month.
come on, dude. Look,
He-
this type of guy is the person that we need to praise.
Like
So cool.
100,000%, you guys. Like, he gives $400 to the best achieving student at the high school. And then he gave all of them laptops and sportswear, and then he returns every now and again to play soccer with everybody.
$693,000 in total.
In total.
Yeah.
Yeah, but probably more than that.
Oh
'cause-
wait, to fund that's just
yeah,
the hospital.
that's just the hospital, 600,000.
Wow.
The school is 300,000. I mean, regardless. So I read this, or I saw it in a TikTok. Some guy was like reporting, just he reports news, and I was like, wow, the fact that this person is somebody who people look up to and praise in soccer, and that he's made sure to take the time to really make a difference in his village, more than what most people in power are doing, I think is so incredibly special. And he's setting such a beautiful example for all the young boys and girls who love soccer, who watch him. Like, I just think it's astonishing. I think
What
it's
a
amazing.
hero.
Yeah, definitely a hero for sure.
Yeah.
That is a great way of defining it. It's sad that good people, it's like they wait to be good. Do you get what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I did that. I was like, oh, like, let me wait until I have this amount of money to start giving. And then I met Tony Robbins, and he said, if you're not going to give $1 out of 10, you're not going to give 100,000 out of 10 million. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Or 100,000 out of a million. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's true. Giving is it's the hardest thing in the world. But my God, when you do it, you feel so great.
And then when you do it, it feels a little less hard. It's like, oh, that was.
Yeah.
It lightens you.
There's no greater feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
It's
also
kind of-
don't give. Like, I always tell people, if you're gonna give quietly. Don't give for the world. When I first started YouTube, I took down this video of me giving, because this whole trend was let's go give food to homeless people, and I blurred out their faces. I think I did. I don't know what I did, but I remember I did something to make myself feel better that I wasn't that bad, right? And my mom and dad called me, and they're like, "What the frick is wrong with you? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "It's nice, but what are you glorifying you giving to other people? Since when have you been that type of person?" And I was like, no, Mom, this is good for our content. And this is how I justified it. Ready? I swear I justified it this way. I said, "No, Mom, you don't understand. This is what's it's really good to do this because more eyeballs are going to be on me. And then when I get more successful, I could do even more for these people." Again, my point of view.
Right.
And my mom goes, "Don't embarrass these people like that. They're
Yeah.
already down on their luck. What you need, you already have everything that you want in life. What do you need to go humiliate these people that are down on their luck on camera for? Even if you're blurring their face, even if you're doing all this stuff, it's like, bro, like, don't put them in a position where they're like, God bless, now I have to, like, I'm gonna take it because I need it, but like, you're putting me in a position, and bro, it made me cry. I'm not gonna lie. I cried because I felt like such an evil piece of shit for doing that. And then I was like, nope, I gotta forgive myself. I gotta move on. And then one day I'm gonna have a platform. Thank God I have this where I could share that. And it's just like, don't do that, dude. Don't be me. Don't try to use other people's misfortune for you to take one more higher level up in life. You don't need to do that, bro. You could definitely level up without stepping on somebody else's head. And that goes in any direction. So I would like to apologize. I know they're probably never going to hear this, or maybe they will, because in LA, every homeless person has an iPhone. It's just the most wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. But if you're watching this and I've ever disrespected you like that, I with full heart, I apologize for ever doing that. I was young, I was new to social media, and I thought that was acceptable to record somebody's misfortune for my own greed. And that sucks that I did that.
I forgive you.
Imagine that was you. Oh my God, what a full circle. What if this whole time you were only working for me to just one day kill me in my sleep? You're like, now that I got my chance, you embarrassed me.
That would have already happened. I've had lots of opportunities. we've been sharing beds in hotel rooms. I've had my chances.
Can we move on to a little happier topic so we can get some giggles and stuff? I feel some.
Okay.
I don't want to put somebody to sleep in their car or anything like that. Also, guys, we are going to be reading comments and answering them on our Patreon. We're going to be answering. We're actually going to answer some at the ending of this podcast, and maybe not this one because we didn't read the comments.
But hit us with your questions. Anything.
Yeah, because this is a community. This is not me like not reading the comments.
Deep, shallow, simple.
If you hate me, write it. I want to know about it.
Your troubles.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want advice or if you just want to say something, you want a response, let us know how you feel.
How do you like the title of altruism with ALTRU with George Janko? Like we want to know. We want to tap into you guys, because this is I was telling this to Belle, and before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know I'm so incredibly grateful for this, man. Like this is crazy. Like I get to sit here and express my points of views in life, and it's just such a blessing that I'm gonna grow this audience, and we're gonna grow together, and then one day I'm gonna be on tour and I'm gonna be doing stand up. I'm going to be telling these jokes that have to do with my life that you guys watched me grow as. And like, I never thought that I'd ever be in this industry. I worked for it, never thought it would ever come true. And now I've gotten to a place where, humbly, like I go a lot of places and people know who I am, but I love that when they come up to me, they know me for being true to myself and true to my faith. And it just makes me happy to know I didn't lose myself in the process. And so I'm going to continue this process, but now the next level of my journey is involving my own community in my process. So I wanted to say thank you for everybody that's tuning in. If it's 5,000 or if it's 5 million, every one of you guys have this crazy special place in my heart, because you guys get me to do what I love doing. And so like, if you see me on the street, if I'm eating, I'll get up. If I'm taking a poop, I'll get up. If I'm doing anything, I will get up, and I'll never forget that the only reason I'm here is because I had some friends that believed in me and gave me a platform. I had an audience that had ears for me, and I had a family that built this community with me. So just to let you guys know, 10 years into this, and I feel like we're just getting started.
That was really sweet.
I wrote it down. It's actually all fake. My PR guy wrote it. It's on that screen. It's a teleprompter. Imagine I was that good at reading, bro. Oh, dude, I want to talk to any of you guys. If I didn't need for you guys to reread all of my text, it'd be over for you guys. All right, what's in the new in the TikTok news?
What's new?
We should have like a segment, the bell rings with Belle, or like the TikTok news with Belle, or Belle. You guys write the name of this segment would be.
Yeah.
Bell. Ding ding.
Ding
Okay.
ding.
Ding ding dong.
Nice.
Cool. Well, something else cool I saw. Have you heard about Saudi Arabia's new city, The Line?
Yeah, bro. We've talked about that on Impulsive for like almost a year now.
Really?
We actually met the guy who's building it in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
Yeah. Do you not watch the podcast that I'm on?
I do watch it.
Be honest. Do you watch Impulsive?
I do watch Impulsive. Are you kidding me? I watch everything you do. I don't watch every single episode. They're like an hour and a half. If I watched an episode of Impulsive every day, what else would I do? You know, I just didn't see that you guys talked about it.
She doesn't support my dreams.
Oh,
Why did that was like, it sounded like a song was about to begin, right? That was like such a pitch perfect laugh or whatever
Damn,
you just
bro.
did.
I was so excited about
All right,
that.
so move on from the line.
So you know everything about it?
Yeah, they're building a city that's in a line.
Dude, so you know
It's
about the three different
crazy, bro.
districts and everything and what they're going to be all
Yeah,
about?
and the transportations and all that
Bro,
stuff.
there's just the audience that has no idea what she's talking about, and they're
Yeah.
just dying to know.
No, but because I already talked about this so many times.
All right, fine.
Go watch Impulsive instead of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go-
go check it out. It's
They went
really
from
cool.
impulsive here and then back to
Back,
impulsive.
yeah, we full circle.
You know, go to neon.com
Just subscribe
and
before you
learn
leave,
about
please.
Yeah,
it.
please. Oh, do me a favor. Please subscribe. Also, wait 1 second. Hold on. This is getting really uncomfortable for me because I've never done this before, but I'm going to plug my Patreon, and I really hope that you guys take this full-hearted. We are showing behind the curtains of what our life looks like when we're building up this, going on to stand up. And I'm just basically showing a lot more than I've never showed in my life. And we're going to be doing exclusive 30 minutes of podcast. We're going to be doing a lot of cool things on Patreon. Guys,
Vlog.
the reason why, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, it's to set me up to be financially free. And I'll tell you why. Because once I don't have a platform telling me what I could say or what I could do, and I'm making an income off of being who I am and really true to myself, then I could really grow to be the man that I'm going to be proud of. So like anybody who wants to spend their hard-earned money, it's going to be $6, but you're going to get a vlog out of it every week. You're going to get exclusive stuff from the podcast. There's going to be a lot of very, very cool things for $6 that if you actually spend your hard-earned $6, thank you so much. I'll never take that for granted, ever. I don't care how much money I have. I know that $6, especially in a generation that we're living in right now, the times we're living in, I really, really want to thank you. But I need to get to a level where I could be a little bit more financially free because I'm not balling out. I spend a lot of my money on like productions and stuff like that, but I have dreams on doing passion projects. I have dreams of traveling with our podcast. So I need another stream of income where it's not going to be demonetized when I say something.
Right.
It's not going to be taken down. It's not going to be filtered. And so I'd rather, basically what I'm saying is I'd rather have $10 given to me that's me and I could do whatever I want and say whatever I want than $100 where I have to jump through hoops to make sure that I'm able to make the money.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd rather be free than like be chained up and be like, this is the only way you're going to make money.
Yeah.
This is why I want to do Patreon, so I could be fully out there. And I wanted to be bold and honest with you guys because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are doing it and saying it for different reasons. This is not it. This is for me to be off and break my chains and not having other platforms tell me what I can or cannot say or do or anything like that. Like I want to be very vocal about that.
Also
Yeah.
a great like community and platform to be able to like really like connect with the people who like subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Like if they want to talk to you about, if they want to send you a question or like get your advice on something, you can really like dive deep into it.
Oh yeah.
You know, which you're not going to dedicate an entire YouTube video, you know, on John who asked a question, but on Patreon you can, which I think is really cool.
It's definitely a community based. It's a very, very strong, tight community base. And I'm very excited about it. We have a lot of good stuff we're already putting on it that I'm very excited about. Well, when I had a
George is
meeting,
going to show his butt.
yeah, my whole butthole, nared and all.
Yeah.
If we're gonna show
Close up.
before and after, the
4K.
jungle version of it, and then the nared version
Yeah.
of it.
I did a great job shooting it.
It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's ass.
Well,
Just imagine they think we're joking, but like legit, we just go and you're just scrolling.
That's it. That's the only.
And it's just butt cheeks. They're like, wow, all right,
It's literally your OnlyFans.
dude. Oh, we're putting Belle's nudes on it. That's
Yeah.
gonna help us really
And
sell
feet.
tickets.
yeah, because I figured that,
I wouldn't do it for me, but I do it for
yeah,
you.
that's what I'm going to do.
You know why? Because I'm the man of the house, and I told her this is what's going.
Yeah. I just recently cleaned up my Instagram, but I'm going to go more into
Well, Andrew Tate says that I have a portion of your income of your nudes, so
Oh, yeah, because my body is yours. Sorry.
yeah, it is. Which is. All right, what else is the new TikTok news?
Okay, I have a dumb one. So Kylie Jenner, revealed the new name of her baby because initially her son, she named him Wolf about a year ago, and then now she just released like his new name, which is Air. So wait, just hear me out.
Is it wrong that I don't care about this at all?
No, but just wait. This is just funny. It's just a funny.
Is it
thing.
bad? Because like
No, not at all.
now I hear the Kardashians' name and I just immediately, no disrespect, hardworking women, they're cool, good for them. But now I'm just kind of like, I don't care. I don't care about anything. That
No,
they're
I know
doing.
you don't. And this is just funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's spelled AIRE, right? And then
Yeah.
people were talking about like what it means in their language.
Yeah.
So people on Twitter are like, oh, this means this and that. And then the people who speak Arabic, specifically Lebanese, say that it means my penis. So she named her baby my penis. Yeah. So people were just laughing about it.
How old are
Just
you?
leave her. Just let her be. Just leave her. Just leave her. Just leave her.
You told me to come up with TikTok news. This was on TikTok. This is big. People were laughing.
Babe. Your groundbreaking news.
Yeah.
Hey,
is
bro,
that
what did you expect?
Kylie
It's
Jenner
TikTok
named
news.
TikTok news. Ding
kids-
ding.
hair.
Bruh.
Am I
What?
blown out from the lighting now or no?
No, I've been adjusting it.
Okay,
Okay,
hit us
so
with something
Audience
moving
else.
was
on.
like, no, he's not.
I'm so sorry about that past news that you guys just got.
People are gonna laugh. Anyways,
Comment down if you guys enjoyed that or if you didn't, because we'll put somebody else in that chair if you guys. Just kidding.
shut up. So another one I have, which Reed is gonna love hearing, because considering he was just drinking a Celsius, but Celsius right now is currently going through a class action lawsuit.
Oh yeah, with Flow Rider.
No, a different one.
What?
Flow
Wait,
Rider.
Wait. Flow
It's
Rider
Flow
just
Rida,
won.
bro, it's Flow
Flow
Rida,
Rida.
not Flow Rider.
Yeah.
It's Flow Rider.
Flow Rider.
Did I just hear somebody laugh?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
Jessica.
Jessica downstairs.
Jess?
Her
Oh, hey.
laugh, like echoes
Okay,
up
wait,
the
hold on.
stairs.
No, okay, so Flow Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flow Rider.
Just how earlier you were saying
He just got
legs
like an
day.
80 million.
It's leg day. It's
He got
not-
an $80 million
I was gonna say
lawsuit.
something about that bell, but
Wait,
I
like,
didn't.
Wait,
You're like,
what?
I've been doing legs day, me and legs day. It's just leg day.
Well, it's not one
Because you
leg,
can say
though.
leg and that
It's-
it's plural.
I think
just
if you're gonna
by
work
leg
out
day?
your legs, you're gonna
It's
work
leg
out both.
day? It's
No.
legs day. Well, that's
Wait.
not true. That's
Wait,
not
that-
true at all.
Yeah, I totally lied.
It's legs
really-
day.
No,
it's leg day.
When people say
It's
I
leg
did
day.
leg day, it's leg day.
No.
It's arm day, not
I can
arms
tell by
day.
both of your guys' legs that you have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
really?
Yeah,
That's not
really.
how it works.
Babe, you squatted once and you had to pee in a bag for 2 weeks.
That's so. This is so out of context and so mean to say. I work my ass off. I work my ass off in the gym.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Fucking turd.
Belle did one squat and she had to. What
You're so rude.
What is it called, bro? What is it called, bro?
A catheter.
A catheter. I had to change her diaper like an old person, bro.
That's love.
Okay, first of all,
Oh,
no.
but also, hold on. Just to clarify, because I know there's going to be a lot of sensitive people out there. Belle and I make fun of each other every day.
No,
and
every
when
day.
we're going to get more comfortable on this podcast, we're going to be roasting the shit out of each other like the old granny that had to pee in a bag here. Because I think it's very healthy that you make fun of your loved one.
It is. It's very
Agreed.
healthy. It's just fun.
So tell them how you did one squat, you professional trainer, you.
You're so ridiculous. No, actually, and Georgie will have my back. I
won't.
Stop
No, I won't.
it.
I won't
No,
have your
am-
back.
I
I
need
know
to-
for a fact
for
that
my-
you squatted the wrong way and you had to pee
No,
in
for
a
my
bag.
own ego, I need people to. I'm an athletic person. I've been an athlete my whole life. I work out like I don't know, a few days a week, depends. Sometimes I take breaks, but I always go back. I always make sure I'm like in the gym, whatever. Just for my own ego, I need to say this because damn, I work very hard in the gym, very athletic, but whatever.
Prove it. Show your body.
You can go to my Instagram. I'm just kidding.
Wow,
Nice
what a plug,
plug,
dude.
bro.
That's
Yeah,
sick, man. I love you, bro.
There's even better stuff on Patreon though.
Yeah. I said her I put up the news. She said me. She goes, George, I thought you were freaking kidding, bro. That's so messed up.
No, but in realness, in the summertime in July, I hurt my back. And this is crazy. I didn't even know it was from my back at the beginning. I just started having like some bladder issues. And
Can I tell them how you first found out? You walked up to me, you sent me down, like, George, I haven't peed. And I go, what?
yeah, I was.
I haven't peed. And I go, okay. Like, how long has it been? Like a few hours? She goes, no, like 3 days. I was like, what?
No,
I pee
it's
15
all
times a day.
Yeah. No, it was.
No,
I
it was
remember
like 2 days.
It,
It was 2 days, babe. I wouldn't rush you to the hospital for a
can't-
day.
well, yeah, you can't not pee for 2 whole days. It was most of the day. I remember this specifically. You were laying in bed and I was in the bathroom and I was like, babe, because I remember my bladder was so full. And when my bladder is full, like you can see it. It's like huge, right?
Little pee
It
baby.
was full filled. And I was in the bathroom.
No, I'm
Yes.
100% sure it had to be at least a day because
Yes,
I know
it was the whole day. It was by the end of the day, and I was like, "Babe, my bladder's so full," and I was like, "I can't pee." And I remember being in the toilet and being like, "Babe, I can't pee."
Pause. But then you went to the hospital the next day, so you haven't peed in like 2
so
days.
remember, I had to go into the hot shower and then to make myself pee.
You just made me out to look like a liar.
Okay, well, it's because I had to take myself from remember you put me in a hot shower. and so I could pee.
And that helped. Oh, okay, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Because I always pee in like really hot places, like hot tubs.
Because it helps.
Of course.
Saunas, Arizona. I just pee on the ground.
No, but so it was because for 2 days, every time I needed to pee, I had to be in a hot shower in order to pee. So that's maybe why. What you're
Must have
thinking.
felt so good though.
Okay, I get it. So you
relieving.
needed help peeing with a hot shower.
Yeah.
Totally
Anyways, so then I go to the emergency room and I tell them what's going on with my bladder. I couldn't even really pee for them to get a test for it. I got an MRI, like they got an MRI of my whole like body and everything like that. And I left and they just like didn't find anything wrong. They're like, oh, we don't know. Then the next day they go, oh, our neurologist actually looked at your spine and it looks like you have a really small disc bulge in your back. And so, come back in so we could look into it because that could be dangerous. So I go back in and long story short, it was this big back and forth of like them not really knowing what was going on with me.
Her hospital sucks. I'm sorry.
Don't
mention who they are.
No.
But like in LA, not even in LA. That's one is in Huntington. But like
Orange County, yeah.
Like they just don't care.
Yeah, they don't. It's very much.
Sad. It's very sad. We had to take her to Arizona.
Yeah, come in so we can see you. But yeah, anyways. So, but then I was in the hospital. I was laying down in a bed, and my bladder was over the limit that it could be. So they're like, okay, like if you can't go, we're gonna have to put in a catheter. And I was so stressed. I remember going back and forth to the bathroom. I was in the toilet with rain. I was taking my back. I was splashing water. I was doing everything underneath the sun because I was like, I'm not getting a catheter.
I bet that made it even harder.
Did it hurt?
Ew.
Wait, which one hurt more, the catheter or the IUD?
The IUD, I think. Yeah, the IUD. Getting the IUD inserted was way more painful. I could describe it, but I think you're going to get too cringe of me describing why it hurts.
Hear it.
Do it.
The IUD was so incredibly painful. But the catheter is just like, because it's going in your pee-pee hole. Nothing goes into your urethra.
Oh, dude. Dude.
You have a tube go in there. And then a sack is in your bladder. Yeah. So I was a grandma. I was like an 80-year-old
I
grandmother.
had to change your bag, dude.
For a week, I had a catheter in.
Oh, God.
It was horrible. The whole thing was very traumatic. It also stopped like my other movements of your body, like your bowel movements. Like that stopped working as well for a little bit. I had the most.
Plunge your asshole.
No, you didn't. Can you stop, please? Oh my God. No, Georgie was so sweet. Him and my sister literally they went through a night with me when I was in like this screaming amount of pain. They were so sweet. They were just running around trying to get anything that they could for me. And like Georgie was getting me like hot water for my feet. And you were just so sweet. And so Georgie takes the best care of me. But anyways, so yeah.
I pay her to say all that, by the way. It's not true.
No.
I just threw a clean bag at her. I go, clean your shit up. Come on, hurry up.
Yeah, all from I just had a very small disc bulge in my back and it just stopped everything. It was crazy. Yeah.
The human body's crazy.
So crazy.
Wild.
So crazy.
Anything else in the TikTok news?
Oh, so I was talking about Celsius.
How did we get to here?
I don't know.
Celsius, yes. So wait, Flow Rider gets $80 million from them. $80 million from them.
Yeah.
And then who's suing them now?
But so now this is
we should probably go stock up on them because they're going to probably be like out of business and then we have to go like
most likely. But I don't even know. Now I don't want to drink anymore.
Wait, why? What happened?
Why? What happened?
I literally just drank one like 5 minutes ago.
I know.
Is there something I need to know?
I drank a Red Bull and I got lectured like crazy.
This thing that it's in most things anyways, but they're in a class action lawsuit. So a class action lawsuit is when anybody who's involved, like anybody from the public, you can also like get money from it because it's a class action law. It's a class action lawsuit.
It's leg day. It's leg day. And then she's going to judge me? No. You dork. Okay, so wait, get to the point, bro. What's the lawsuit about?
Can I get money from Celsius right now?
Yes, you can. Because so the marketers of Celsius, they've agreed to pay 7.8
Marketers?
The marketers.
Marker
Whatever.
people?
You guys just listen. They agreed to pay $7.8 million to settle the class action lawsuit, alleging it falsely advertised its products as having no preservatives, even though they contain the widely used preservative citric acid. So citric acid, that's a preservative technically, and they've always, they market it as if it's like, no preservatives, no nothing, you know, it's so good. But really, there's citric acid in it, which, I mean, people are, you just read the ingredients, it's on there.
That's not cool, bro. Get my attorney on the phone right now.
But so if you can show.
I'm being so serious. That's fucked up because like I promoted it that it was healthy. They lied to me.
Well, yeah. And so the thing is
money.
that you, if you can prove before the lawsuit started, within however long before that you have a receipt that you've bought in Celsius, you can get $250 today. You can go show them your receipt from before, you get $250. And if you don't have a receipt,
I always throw my receipts away.
if you don't have a receipt and you can't prove it, you still get $20.
Damn, you just made so many people money right
So
now.
question, what if you had a receipt for every time you bought it? Would you get $250 every time you bought it?
No, just one time. It's a settlement. So for your paying.
How do you guys feel about suing? No, for real, because I grew up and we were not into that. Like, my parents weren't, we don't.
My family was hella into suing.
Really?
Yeah, just sued everybody.
Seriously?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was this really rich kid at my school, and his dad had something spill on him, like a coffee at a McDonald's or something, where he got, like, dumb rich. Like, his whole family was dumb rich.
Wait, there's that like infamous story of the coffee was so hot that it spilled on somebody's lap. They got 3rd-degree burns, and they got like $30 million or something.
I think it was like that. Maybe
an
they were
insane
using
amount
that
of
as an
money.
example.
Okay, it's probably that, because that's like an infamous story. Infamous.
I
I wonder,
definitely heard
could
that.
you look up to see if that person
It's
lived in
like
Arizona?
in the same realm of like somebody suing Red Bull for it not giving them wings. Like that
It's
was
stupid,
another.
but
Yes.
So there's people that are like professional sewers,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, man. That's just weird to me. Like,
Yeah, I think that's horrible. I do have a story though, where, like,
about suing.
yeah, I've
You sued somebody? Mm-hmm. What?
yeah,
You sued somebody?
like not me personally, but my mom had to.
Dude, stop.
Yeah,
I never thought you guys were sewers.
I'm not a sewer. What? I also too, like, I don't come.
I just thought you were a connoisseur. What does connoisseur
No.
mean? Did I use it right?
Connoisseur is like somebody who's like knows, like you have a lot of knowledge on a certain topic or multiple things.
Cool. So I used it kind of right.
Yeah.
The lady got $3 million, and she was 79 years old.
3 million?
Yeah, $3 million.
I mean, if they give you
Were they
three
from Arizona?
No, Albuquerque.
If they give you a 3rd-degree burn, that's pretty intense.
She bought a takeout coffee in a drive-thru in Albuquerque, spilled it on her lap, and sued McDonald's. And a jury awarded her nearly $3 million in punitive damages for the burns she suffered.
Punitive.
Well, anyway, so this dude at my school was very, very like well off for suing somebody, and it was an ongoing joke because everybody was like, "Be careful, he'll sue you." But anyway, so what was your suing about?
No, I mean, mine, it made sense because, listen, I don't come from, like, my family was not well off in that way whatsoever. So it's not like we sued people. No, it was at one of my elementary schools. I got into a bad high jump accident.
Oh, I remember this.
But,
That's what you got money from?
yeah, listen.
Dude, that's... Hey, Jess.
I can't bear.
Hey, shut up, unless you have a microphone. Or come, where are you,
Jess
bro?
just yelled from down the stairs, "Let her finish."
Come up here, bro. What are you doing?
That was so funny.
Oh, okay. So go ahead. So by the way, just a little paint for you guys. High jump. It was high jump.
High jump.
High jump is when you, for those of you guys that don't know what that is, this is when you run up and there's a bar that's set and you have to clear the bar. So you have to run up and jump as high as you can so you could clear the bar.
You jump with, like, your,
And usually this
shoulder
is for tall
first.
people.
I was really good at it because I don't know why, but no. Well, at the time, listen, I was a competitive figure skater, so this.
Sick.
Makes sense.
What do you mean? This stopped I couldn't compete. Like, I was.
Oh, no.
figure
You're
skater.
talking about the suing aspect of it.
Yeah.
I thought you were just trying to clarify why you were doing long jump.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. The table's yours. I was being very rude. Go
Yeah,
ahead, please.
I couldn't compete. So also to it, I'm in skating too. You jump, so maybe that's why I could jump. Whatever. Anyway, so I was in gym class, and behind the big bar that's set is a very thick, tall mattress, so that when you land the jump, you land onto this big, thick mattress thing. But then around the big, thick padding was just, the little mats that they have in gym class, the little blue mats.
They're blue. Yep,
Yeah.
they're bright blue.
They're just little thin ones. They don't really
Yeah.
Like
They're usually made for people that are doing like gymnastics, like cartwheels and stuff.
if you're tumbling on it, if you're sitting on it or whatever, right? So, but that's what they had just around the really big thick mat were those. So there was really like not that much like protecting you. And I did my high jump. I flew past the bar, cleared it. I went so far past that I missed the big mat and I landed on the thin blue mat. And when I landed like sitting with my legs straight in front of me, but my right leg like flew back and snapped back. So like I landed on my butt and my right leg, like, I don't know how to explain in words, but snapped backwards. And everybody in the class heard a big pop. Okay.
We all just heard that.
Yeah, so everyone heard that in the class. So it's a really bad accident. And
Did you cry?
no. And when it happened, no, I was just in shock. I remember I wasn't crying
Her
yet.
legs right here. She's like,
I didn't cry yet. I think maybe once
What's it
I was
look like?
once I was like moved, and then once the pain started settling in, then you cry a little bit, but you know. So but as a like gym teacher, if you're teaching kids any athletics, like when people get injured, you need to know the proper things to do, the proper like ways to go about it. And they moved me, and it was a really bad injury. And so when they moved me from that spot, put me into like a wheelchair, brought me to the office, laid me down another spot. And when the paramedics got there, they were furious. They're like, why would you move her? Like you could have made who knows if they made my injury worse than it already was. Certainly when everybody in the
her
class,
mom's like, they did.
certainly when everybody in the class heard a huge like pop from from my fall, like injury and everything. So after I got taken to the hospital and everything. And yeah, the doctors and everyone, they told my mom, they're like, yeah, like that school, like they should have never moved her. That was so bad. And so my mom sued the school for moving me because I tore my hamstring and ripped a piece of bone off my hip girdle.
I don't believe in suing, but like I don't have a kid, bro. I don't know what I would do if some other grown human did something wrong to my kid.
Yeah.
So maybe I would. I probably would.
Well, it's just like, okay, so you're having us do the sport. That's great and all, you know. I was also doing like
Oh, wait, hold
at
on.
the
How
time.
did you even clear the mat like that?
They
They didn't set it up properly because
Yeah.
there should be people that are way taller than you
Absolutely.
clearing way farther.
I
yeah.
also think it's PE. There's like 30 kids and there's one teacher. Like it's inevitable that things go wrong in PE class.
Absolutely.
That's how people get hurt. It's just you have to know when somebody hurts themselves, what do you do?
Yeah,
It's first
and-
aid 101 that you don't move people when they're in serious
Exactly.
injury. Like those fail videos of people flying out of cars and then people just grab them and drag them like 30 feet to the side. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. Like you need to know the precautions and what are the things to do. Also, they just weren't prepared in exactly what you said. Like in my class, I was definitely one of the smallest girls. Like I was short and I'm really petite. So the fact that I even like flew past it, exactly. Somebody was taller
you're
than
just
me.
athletic as shit, girl.
But somebody who was taller than me could have gone hurt so much worse. Like there should be way more padding around it. Like that's so ridiculous. And so, yeah. And it just, I ripped my hamstring in the center and it pulled a piece of bone off my hip girdle. Couldn't compete. I was stopped in all the things that I was doing, was injured for such a long time. Like, so, you know, my mom had good reasons for it, but she saved that money. And when I turned 18, I was able to buy my Prius.
How much money did she get?
I'm not going to
I
say.
mean, she bought a Prius.
Shit.
I bought a pre-owned
At least
certified Prius, yeah.
Let's go.
Pre-owned, yeah.
That's awesome.
So that helped
wow.
me get my
Shout
car.
out PE.
Yeah, and I have it to this day, you know. But it doesn't mean that you should sue anybody without reason. There
Unless
was
you want a
reason for
Prius.
it. Unless you want a car when you're 18.
Unless you want a Prius. Then, I don't know.
People are just
You'll find
limping.
someone.
How long have we been going for?
I don't know.
It says on the sound mixer down there. I think probably like an hour 40 or so.
No way.
What?
Yeah.
So we should
Let me
probably
double
just
check.
wrap up because we could keep going, you and I.
Yeah, we could talk for...
Bella and I literally go on road trips and just like talk the whole
Hour
time.
38.
Hour 38. I feel like it's
Sure.
good. I feel like it's good.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good amount.
100%.
Yeah. No, yeah, we drove to Arizona. It was like 6.5 hour drive. And we're like, we never played music.
Not once.
And we were together, like when we were together all day, every day. And we're just like, and we talk.
Dude, we have a really blessed relationship.
Very blessed.
It's my favorite thing about my life.
Oh,
Besides my looks.
I love you.
I love you. Well, thanks guys for watching to the first time named podcast, ALTRU with George Janko.
All true, all true.
I really like the ring of it. All True with George Janko.
ALTRU, welcome back.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Do me a favor, click the link and join our Patreon. It's going to be really fun. Take a peek behind the curtains of us and how we build up our future together. We're going to get a lot more deeper on there. And then, and if you guys are like, listen, right now I can't spend $6, I still appreciate you for even watching. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, do things so the algorithm could help us be all fruitful. Because guys, I'm going to be honest, I've never fell in love with anything that I've done work related besides this right here. I'm in love with it. I really am. And I know it's going to help me become a stand-up comedian. It's going to give me more time. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've made it all the way up until here, you're a real one. And one day I'm going to meet you and I'm going to hug you and then we're going to jump up and down and we're going to celebrate. Again, just thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Fuck this podcast, bro. This is so
Wait, I haven't cut yet.
Oh, you haven't cut?
No, I
You haven't cut?
Oh.
I have to. I'm the one who has to cut over here.
gosh.